What's going on, YouTube? It's Pelfrey. This is the Red Sea Reefer 250. This video is going to be only, I'm going to try to keep it only about vacation prep. My family and I are fixing to go to Florida for 8 nights. So I'm just trying to get the tank ready and do whatever I can now before we leave. So over the weekend, I did pull the MP10s out. They were absolutely covered in purple, and this one actually had bubble algae on it. That is a Tunze 6040 pump. And I pulled the right one out, did a vinegar soak on it, put them back in the tank. At first I had them too low in the tank and they started blowing sand around, so I'll have to get in there and move some sand around, but for right now I'm not really all that worried about it. But yeah, so my only concern is, and I've left for 8 nights many a times before, my only concern is now I have a 6-gallon auto top off, whereas before I had a 10-gallon auto top off. I do dose Kalkwasser. There's Kalkwasser in this small container over here. It's a 4-liter container. And it's almost empty, so I'm gonna replace that, and I dose 200 milliliters of Kalkwasser every day. And I need to adjust this a little bit. So that will help offset a little bit, but you know, a gallon's like 3,500 milliliters or something in that range. So my idea is, well, before I get into that, I did take the skimmer cup off, cleaned it pretty well. I'm gonna readjust it and make sure that it's a really dry skim. But my idea is I have an optical sensor here, and I'm either going to use, so this is Kalkwasser and this is empty at the moment. I'm either gonna use this head to dose RODI water into here. That way I don't have to pull out the Tunze pump, and I probably don't have enough tubing and all of that for it. So I'm either gonna dose RODI water into here, or evaporate. So I got tape on here because I'm gonna start tracking this this week to make sure, but I evaporate about a gallon a day. And if that's the case, then I figure I can dose direct RODI water into the sump. You know, I'd probably do like 2,600 milliliters a day or something to keep up with the auto top off. And quite frankly, I mean, all of the corals that are in the tank have done tremendous. They've been beat up quite a bit. So if I do experience a salinity swing, then I think that everything will be okay. But that's kind of my thought process. So I do have an optical sensor in here, and that's because if I do dose RODI water into here, I obviously want it to stop, and I'm gonna order probably another optical sensor so I can put it in here to have a second fail-safe. So, you know, I could dose the water directly into this container and let the auto top off do its thing, or I can dose it directly into the sump, and that would mean that I use less of the auto top off water. So I do plan on setting up a laptop. That way I can remote into it and view the tank. More importantly, view the sump area. So if I do set up some type of automation here, then I can log in and I can make sure everything's good to go. So I do have a leak detector underneath the stand also. So if it does get wet, then it'll start shutting equipment down. And the good thing is, if I use an optical sensor, I can program the Apex to shut. You know, if I program this pump to pump water into here, I can use some logic to, if this switch is open or closed, I can't remember the normal state here, but I can tell this pump to not run if it's submerged. So there is going to be some type of redundancy there. And then obviously the third option is to get somebody to come over and fill up the auto top off. But I think it's just gonna be easier, and I might just roll with one of the first 2 options, whereas I'm either pumping water in here or here. So, I mean, I'm very excited to go on vacation. It's a much needed vacation. That's why I wanted to go ahead and kind of prep and get things squared away. The you know, we can touch base on the Tunze 6040. I got a really good deal on 2 of them. So I do have one there, And I have one in the sump that's not running because I'm waiting for the magnets to come in because the seller forgot to send them. But I do have it next to the MP10. The MP10 does put out more flow, but again, I got a really good deal on them, and I got the Apex cable, and I've always wanted to try out a Tunze pump on the Apex, so I went ahead and got it, and I do plan on running. I may move this one up into the tank to just have more flow up in the tank, but that's that. I mean, I do have the, I did reload the Neptune auto feeder with some Reef Nutrition pellets and Benepet's Reef powder, and been battling some super high phosphate, so there is a bag of Gorilla Phos in there. As of Saturday, the phosphates were down to like 0.11, so that's a positive in my book. You know, a quick question is, when you go on vacation, what do you do to your tank? Do you have somebody come over and take care of it for you? Do you rely solely on automation or a bigger auto top-off container? What do you do? What should I do? Should I pump water directly into the auto top-off container or into the sump? So my thought process is I'm going to move the toys out of here, put a 5-gallon bucket over here with about 5 gallons of RODI water, and either pump it here or here. Let me know what your suggestion is there, if it's a good idea, bad idea, or what you would do differently. Here's a emerald crab. These things have been priceless. I know I've talked about it before, but they've been absolutely priceless. No bubble algae, except for when I pulled this pump out. And if you're not following me on Instagram, I put pictures of before and after of the pumps, and they were filthy. There's no doubt about that. This guy, skittish, but he's been really, really fun to watch. Trying to think what else is going on. I did, in preparation for vacation, I did make not right at 80 gallons of water, but probably about 70 gallons of water, and I did a water change yesterday. I'm going to attempt to do another water change towards the end of the week, maybe even if it's just a 5-gallon water change, just to get another water change in, just because I'm used to doing them weekly anyway, and if I do one on Thursday before we leave on Friday, then when we come back the following Sunday, I can go ahead and knock out a quick water change. So I did make enough water and keep enough water on standby. That way, if something happens that's crazy while we're gone and I come back and I have to do a large water change, then I'll have enough water. Oh, I have been using the Red Sea Coral Pro salt, but I'm almost out of it. I probably got like 1 or 2 more water changes and then I'll be out of that salt. So I went ahead and got a box of the blue Fritz, the blue box. It pretty much matches the parameters of my tank and what the blue bucket from Red Sea does, and it's a little bit cheaper. So I think it was like $63. I got it from saltwateraquarium.com. So it was, a little bit cheaper. I'm anxious to try it out. I know a lot of people that use it, and it's nothing that I don't like about the Red Sea salt, but I'm trying to save just a little bit of money if I can on salt. And I've heard mixed reviews about Fritz, so I'm very anxious to try it. I've heard that sometimes parameters are completely out of whack. So yeah, we'll just have to try it out and see what's going on. So you can see here the level is almost empty, and I've got another one. This is a BRS Space Saver jug. I have another one mixed up that I'm going to swap out within the next couple of days because this one's going to run dry pretty quick. You can see I made this one on April 14th. So 2 tablespoons, 200 milliliters a day. Yeah, went through it pretty quick. So cable management is a mess, but you know what? The prettier you try to make things, the more difficult it is whenever you got to pull something out. And I do like my sump area to look nice to complement the sump and the auto top-off container, but the cabinet door stays shut, so I don't want to spend a lot of effort zip tying or tying wires and all of that good stuff. So also, I did pick up a pH probe. I've not ran a pH probe on this tank for a very long time. Just happened to be surfing reef to reef, which I do on a regular basis. That's where I found the Tunze pumps. There was a bulk reef supply double junction pH probe on there, and the guy wanted like $40 shipped. It's brand new. So figured I'd throw it on here, especially since I'm dosing kalkwasser. I've literally probably not ran a pH probe on this tank for a year or so if I had to take a wild guess at it. But yeah, if there's anything that you do for vacation preparations as far as a reef tank is concerned, please let me know, and let me know if my ideas are good or bad, because you know, sometimes I have good ideas, sometimes I have bad ideas. It just really depends. So yeah, don't forget to check out the website at pelfrey.net. If you're not on Instagram, sign up. Takes like 2 seconds to sign up. Follow me at Pelfrey's Reef, all one word, PELPHREYSREEF. And that's that, folks. Probably, I don't know if I'll do any videos while we're in Florida. I probably will, because I'm taking the GoPro with me, which is my vacation camera, because it's 100% waterproof and I don't have to worry about carrying my phone with me. So there's probably going to be family vlogs, and looking forward to it. Hopefully it's going to be beautiful weather. If it's not, I'm still on vacation, and that's all that matters. Appreciate you following along. Comments, suggestions, concerns, whatever, leave them in the comment section below. Hope you have a great one. Catch you on the next one.